Minnesota. Coming up on the show, we'll have highlights, and a lot of them, of the Michigan victory over Minnesota. We'll also have a scouting report of Illinois. But first, let's talk about that battle for the Brown Jug. Over 900 yards in total offense for both teams.
Kind of like a track meet.
I was going to say, up and down the field. That was some game, and I'm sure not the kind of game you'd like to see a little more defense.
Well, I think, you know, our defense, right off the bat, they run 35 yards, I think, on the first play, and David Arnold gets hurt, and we lose another player. And I think this, Jim, first half we trailed by 10 points. We hadn't done much, and they had played extremely well. And we said at halftime, you know, we were only 10 points down, and we haven't done anything, and they've played extremely well. We got a chance to win this game if we just go out and play good football.
You know, despite that yardage and despite Minnesota doing so well offensively, it was the defense that really keyed the win, because on 3 separate occasions, when Michigan turned it over, they couldn't get points out of that.
That's right. There were some big plays made defensively. I don't mean there wasn't, but when you get 450 yards or whatever it is, that's a lot of yardage, you know.
Well, we'll be taking a look at most of those 460-some yards the Gophers rolled up. Don't go away. The first half highlights are coming up next when Michigan Replay continues.
You know, no, I wasn't really expecting it, you know, but I just felt that I had to come through for the team's benefit. And given the chance, anybody could have done it because
it was a tough way to open up against Minnesota, because one of the things you had to do was stop that option attack. And with guys like Foggy and Thompson, they're 2 great ones, really, and experienced guys in running that offense.
Well, you know, we didn't do a good job with the option early. I was sort of afraid of that, because if you don't play it a lot, you know, you don't know how to defend it.
Did you have a plan to stop the option? Because they, I mean, I'm sure you did.
Yes, we did, and so this is the first play of the game. And they rip off there for a long gain, and unfortunately on that play we lost David Arnold. You can see him down there with a serious leg injury, and I don't know whether we'll have him back or not. Here's the play that worried me, the fullback, because we were so hell-bent on stopping the quarterback and tailback that the fullback hurt us. And then finally we caught up with it. They came back, tried to run it again, and Mesner did a great job on it. Finally got him stopped and forced him to go to the field goal, and they kick it through and take an early 3-0 lead.
Now, with your first possession, you aren't able to move the football. Things are getting worrisome, and they come right back, and the offense continues to cook against your defense.
It sure did, and you know, it was a problem. Here's a trap option pass, and they hit Tingelhoff down the middle there for a big gain, and they just made all the plays in the first half, Jim. And here's the fullback again. I kept saying I was always worried about the fullback. Early in the game, he hurt us. Later in the game, not quite so much. Here's Foggy rolling out here on a bootleg. Decides to run and goes down in very close.
And that's where he gets real dangerous, because he has that ability to run real well off the pass.
He beat us a year ago on a scramble, Jim. And here Thompson leaps over and scores. This Thompson is a sophomore. I think is one of the great backs in the country, Jim. He's a big, powerful guy, and he exploded on us, and we did not do a good job of handling him at all.
You know, you talk about one of the great backs in the country. How about your guy, Jamie Morris?
This guy is as good as any there is. And here he is on a big gain, cutting back on a play. And, Jamie has not had a bad game. He never plays poorly. He blocks. He does everything as you want done. Here's a bootleg, very interesting play. That ball's batted back to Demetrius, and he should have dropped it.
That's when you would have liked to see the incompletion, right?
That's not the completed pass we're looking for. Now here it is, 3rd and 19. This is what we're looking for. Demetrius sees Greg McMurtry had beaten his man on a big, long touchdown pass, and that put us back in the game, Jim. Up until that point, we were a struggling ball club.
And you talked about Demetrius. He is a good long passer, isn't he?
He is. He's very dangerous, a powerful arm, and very dangerous. Here we start to make a few plays on the option. Catch Foggy by the legs. He fumbles the ball, but unfortunately, they recovered it. We get the football back and start to run here, and our young fullback, Horde, playing his first game, substituting for the injured Gerard Bunch, fumbles the ball on his first carry. Ran the ball nicely, but fumbled it. And so Minnesota gets the ball back and comes right out to the option, and there's Thompson again. Fortunately, we tripped him up, but he was a devastating back that day. Sure. Here, I wish we'd defensed him like this every time. Hit him for a big loss on the option play. So once again, they have to go to the field goal. It's a 10-7 game, and this time he misses it. Usually he's the most reliable place kicker, but in this case he missed it, so we remain at 10-7.
Yeah, that's Chip Lohmiller that missed it, but this play is a record setter.
I want you to know it was at least 2nd and 14. They had 2 successive penalties. He comes out on a 98-yard touchdown, and nobody's ever run that far on their defense. Nobody has ever run that far in the Big Ten Conference. That's an unbelievable play, and unbelievably played poorly defensively, and an embarrassment to us.
So obviously you weren't very happy with that play.
No, not at all. And it's a shame that play occurred, but give that guy credit. He's a big, powerful back. You give him a step, he's going to run away from you.
You know, you talk about that play as being key, but you had him backed up. I mean, that was a real key point in the game. It could have been 10-7 at half, and maybe a little easier for you in the second half.
Absolutely, Jim. There's no question about it. That play could have beat an ordinary team because that put them 10 up, and really, it's just something like that should never happen.
Well, we can laugh about it now because the second half, Michigan comes back to take the brown jug. Don't go away. The second half highlights still to come when Michigan Replay continues.
We came in at halftime with a never say die attitude, and we knew we could beat this team because we were only down 10 at half, right? And with all of our mistakes and stuff, all I was thinking about going out there was redeeming myself for the first 2 drops I had early in the game.
Someone like Bo Schembechler, he doesn't judge you on your size, he judges you on your heart size and what determination you have.
Jamie Morris, determination enough to become Michigan's all-time leading rusher in this game against Minnesota. But coming out in the second half, you're down 17-7. And you said after the game you really didn't make any adjustments at halftime.
No, you made adjustments, you know, your regular adjustments, but you didn't do anything. We all felt that if we had played good football the second half, we could beat them.
Because Minnesota probably played the best half.
They played as well as they could play, and they didn't give us anything, and sooner or later they were going to turn the ball over to us. If we play good football, we can beat them.
Here you are in the third quarter, and Foggy once again goes to work, and what he does best, scrambling out of there and making things happen.
That's exactly what he does best. As a matter of fact, I'd always hoped he'd throw the ball rather than scramble with it. This is a big play, Jim, 4th and 1. They pitched the ball here, and there was a great hit, and we held them. We held them by an inch.
Yeah, there's some question about that spot, but really, when you look at the play on this replay, there's no way. He didn't make it.
Well, he didn't make it, you know, whether it's question or not, he didn't make it when they measured. So we got the ball back and immediately started to move. Jamie runs us out to midfield, and here on a bootleg pass, Demetrius rolls out and does a nice job of hitting Greg McMurtry for a first down.
And this is a huge drive because it's your second possession.
Right. 3rd and 2, they come after Demetrius. He pitches the ball to Phil Webb, who does a nice job getting us a first down.
And Demetrius is playing with one broken finger, and his other thumb was dislocated earlier.
That's right, completely dislocated. Pitches the ball with 2 hands here to Jamie. Let me tell you, this Demetrius Brown is a tough kid and a competitive kid. I don't know how many guys could go out there with a broken thumb and a dislocated thumb and play like he did. Here we went for 2 and hit Callaway for the 2-pointer and closed the gap to 17-15.
And that touchdown just prior to that was the touchdown that Jamie Morris broke Butch Woolfolk's all-time rushing record.
He became the greatest ground gainer in Michigan history. What a tremendous thing for a great, great player. We kick off here, and Carlitos Bostic gets a great hit on the return man, and he fumbles the ball. Jim, the break we needed. He fumbled the ball, and we got the ball with good field position, came right back. Leroy Horde hit up the middle for a first down.
You unleashed Leroy Horde on this Minnesota team.
Here he dives in for a touchdown. He's a compact, strong kid, and he did a good job here, and we go in to score. Once again, Jim, we went for 2, and
Why
And
go
this time
for
we
two?
would trip Wellborn here easily for the 2-point play.
And this gives you a 6-point lead.
Well,
Strategy
you know,
behind it.
if we had kicked it and gone 22-7, we were 5. So if we missed it, we were 4. It was all odds, 6. So get as many as you can. That was the thinking there, really.
And then Minnesota, give them credit, they come back and move the ball on you.
It's that fullback again, Jim. That annoying fullback hitting up the middle in there. See, we do a pretty good job here, and he throws the ball out while someone's hanging on him, and Thompson runs for a 5-yard gain. Yeah, the fullback hurt us more than I would like to have had it. But here we held him again, forced him to go to the field goal. They kick it through, and now it's a 23-20 game in the 4th period.
And at this point, you're still not out of the woods, and I think the offense really comes back and gets the job done when it had to.
I think that's true, Jim. We moved the ball. We ran well the second half, and Jamie gave us some great runs and broke some tackles and did a great job for us. And here a quarterback draw on a 3rd and long, and Demetrius Brown gets us out of trouble in the 1st down.
And when did you decide this Leroy Horde was going to destroy some linebackers in this run?
Well, actually, Leroy's pressed into duty because Bunch was hurt, and he took advantage of the opportunity and ran extremely well. I thought he did a great job for us. Here's a 3rd down and 9. Look at the great block by Jamie Morris on Leverins, their great linebacker blitzing, which enabled Demetrius to get the ball out to Callaway for a touchdown. That's why Jamie Morris is one of the great players in the country, because he does everything well.
Not just because he runs well.
That's right.
That's part of it.
That's exactly right. Here's a 3rd and 10, and they hit a pass over the middle here for a 1st down.
And Minnesota offensively, you got to give them credit. Down by 10, they're still coming hard.
They're coming hard and doing a good job. Here's that big Thompson again.
You got to look at him for a couple more years, too.
Right, and he's a great one. Here's the big play, Jim. Foggy keeps the ball. He's hit there by Mowry. The ball squirts out. That ball went out about the 2-yard line, went into the end zone, and we recovered for a touchback, and that was the ball game.
Well, there was controversy over that play, and yet it's clear that there was a fumble, and it was on the 2-yard line. Ball was free.
Nothing was said about that, Jim, but following that, when we took the ball on the 20, you know, we stood there for about 15 minutes because we couldn't hear our signals. That was unusual. And something's got to be done with that play, because these fans apparently do not understand, or they don't want to understand, the importance of being quiet when the opposition has the football.
You don't mind them getting into the game and having a lot of fun. The problem is
they want to do up until the time the quarterback comes up over the ball.
Let the game be played, in other words.
Let it be played. Now, there undoubtedly will be some legislation proposed in the off-season to penalize the home team. I don't know any other way to do it. Then that hometown crowd is going to quiet down.
Real quickly, let's talk a little bit more about Jamie. All-time leading rusher, and when he came to Michigan, he was going to be a kick returner, and here he is atop the list of Harmon, Lytle, Woolfolk, all of them.
Amazing, because those are great backs, as you know. He's a very compact little guy. He doesn't hurt easily. He's a tremendous worker in practice. He's the type of guy who's made himself a great back. And Jim, he is a great back. I don't know of anybody in the country that I would swap for Jamie Morris, because I know what he does when he doesn't carry the ball, and that's important to our team.
He had a great one against Minnesota in the battle for the Brown Jug, and we've got the Illini scouting report coming up next, but don't go away. First, we take a look at a very happy Michigan locker room.
Games. And the thing that's happened here is a football team that just doesn't quit. And I want you to know how much I admire it.
And quit.
Because everybody, we've got so many guys hurt. Guy goes down here. We had some guys in there playing. I know damn well they hurt. But they played. They hung in there. It paid off. Because you are Michigan. Yeah! Michigan, you never quit. You never quit. That's the way you were brought up. That's why you wear this uniform. That's why you take the jug home. as your Michigan. And I want you to know I've got a lot of great teams in Michigan. I'm damn proud of this. I'm proud of everything that you damn guys have done. You could have thrown it in at halftime. You didn't do it. Come on, win, baby. And this is going to make us a team. Come on, win.